We know the general story of what happened to you, and you were taken from your home in southern Sudan to the north to be a slave. And so, how did you escape? How did you get to the United States?
I got out from the slavery, not, I did that by my own. I was helped by other individuals who took me out from the slavery and then took me back to the southern Sudan, where I was reunited with my loved ones. And from there, I decided not to talk about these things, put it behind me and go on with my life like any other human beings, even to the point that I immigrated later on to the north, into the capital of Sudan, Khartoum, in which I became a swimmer. I became a Sudanese swimming champion in long distance. And from there, I did work on trying to correct what being done before me by the government as wrong things being inflicted on the Africans in Sudan. And I find it very difficult to do that kind of work because I was told by those in the government that my place is being secure in Sudan. I should not get myself involved in the security matters. What do they mean by security matters? Simply because they always arrested Sudanese. In Sudan at that time, there is a law called Kasha, which is clean the city in English, from the black peoples. And it is a law being designed by the government, and where people will be detained without any crime committed by those individuals, simply because they happen to be in the capitals.
Why do you think the world ignored the problem, the conflict in Sudan for so long? Do you think it was maybe out of fear of offending Muslims around the world, or was it some other reason?
The world ignored the problems in Sudan for so long, to me, for a couple of reasons, not one reason. One, the government of Sudan was waging a war on the Africans whom happened to be Christians. And at that time, they was calling it jihad against the infidels. These are the Christians, because by their definitions in Sudan at that time, in that war, that the Christians are the infidels. Since the war being declared as jihad by the sitting government, the world's, in my opinions, they don't want to get involved because they don't want to be accused that they are anti-Islam and anti-Arabs. That is one thing. Number two, since the crime being committed by somebody who happened to be a Muslim, and the victim happened to be a Christian, especially a black person in that part of the world, who cares? These are the factors probably every single Southern Sudanese felt that what made the world didn't do anything. But today, things are different because the atrocity is still going on. 3.5 million was killed in the Southern Sudan, Christians in the name of Islam. 1.5 million was killed in the first war from 1955 to 1972. And then from 1983 to 2005, 2 million was killed. And you will find them from anywhere you go, from the human rights records, the United Nations records. You put them together with the 1.5 before, 3.5. The government of Sudan didn't stop there. They displaced 7 million Southern Sudanese Christians, 7 million. And the UN telling you the 7 million are refugees in the places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda borders, and even all the way to Egypt, in which we have another 2 millions or 4 millions in the northern part alone, because everything's in the south was being declared as a war zone, and the UN did nothing, and the UN said nothing.